greetings and welcome to our Kula, our little tantric family here. So
Nice.
nice. And
Pleasure to be here.
it's such a pleasure to have you. Neeraj is a very dear friend of mine. We have, connected metaphysically for a long time. He watched all my Soma videos and he
All
himself,
your videos. All
huh?
your videos.
All
All
my
your videos.
videos, all my videos. And but what's even better is that he has made a real mark in the world. And I am proud of my fellow Englishman here. He came and he started this amazing organization called SOMA Breath that literally is changing, it's putting Wim Hof to shame. I'm very happy to see that.
Oh,
It's like pranayama on steroids, man. It's like
no
and
competition, no, no competition. Well,
no
only
God.
collaboration.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love your spirituality, brother. It's good. Good to see
Thank
it.
you.
And so just I'm not going to tell you the backstory, but I'll tell you what he was called. He's been called the Renegade Pharmacist. So he's hanging out with the Renegade Tantrics here. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. I love it. Renegade Tantra. It's a new
Renegade
thing.
Tantra. So Neeraj, tell us a bit about Soma and you and how you came to this.
Sure, yeah. So Breath is inspired a lot from my own experience, going through a healing journey of my own, where I had an autoimmune disease back in 2010, around that time, and it was a big like Satori awakenings experience. Like really a time of self-discovery. And what I really realized was that everything I'd learned in pharmacy, as I was a pharmacist before that, was not really aligned with truth. Okay, it was aligned with a whole different set of values from what my soul was aligned to, and that's why I was so traumatized from being part of a profession which I didn't really belong to. And I'm sure all of you can relate to something like that, where there was a moment in your life where you just didn't feel like you fit in, you didn't belong, you didn't adhere to the values that, you didn't believe in the values that they were believing in. And you wanted to find your tribe, your community, and that's probably why you came to, come and join with this amazing man, Raja, who's a great inspiration for me, and became part of this community, which is more and more needed in this day and age. I'm from the UK. I came from a very academic family. You're only allowed to do a few different things professionally. When you go to university, like you either have to be a doctor, a pharmacist, lawyer,
You're
accountant.
you're a good Indian boy.
Now you can be a software programmer if you want. Yeah, that's like okay now, right? So yeah, but to be a rock star, spiritual rock star, or a musician, or anything like that, definitely not going to
Where
happen.
did you grow up in Reading, right? Where did you
Yeah,
grow
in
up?
Reading.
Oh man, that's as conservative as it gets, gee.
I know. Yeah, I was the only brown guy for a while, in my street for many years growing up. But yeah, and you know how that feels, right? So when you feel a little bit alien and don't really belong. So I went really against the grain of my upbringing, and that causes a lot of stress, okay? Because your entire inner being is trying to tell you to stay in one place because it's more safe, it's more secure, it's more familiar, whereas your soul doesn't want to be there, it wants to be somewhere else. And that can be the source, actually, that conflict, that inner conflict of things like autoimmune disease. And that was clearly for me. And also unresolved anger and frustration at the system, which I spent a long time trying to go up against, which I've realized now is pointless. Don't go up against system, just create your own one. Like, find your own system. That's much more bringing me peace of mind these days, rather than going up
Wonderful.
against the battle of, that a lot of people are going into these days. The fight online is much better served by just building your own systems, and from that you set an example, and change occurs and happens. So what I've done actually is
But what
recreate.
was what tell, what was
Yeah.
you suffered from two major. You were given a choice, right, in your diseases that you were dealing with. And what happened?
Well,
What
I
made
had
you
ulcerative
decide to go
colitis.
searching? What made you
Yeah.
decide to go searching? You know.
Great. Yeah, great. Yeah, let's delve into that. So it's horrific. It's a little bit gory, but I
Ugh.
was basically shitting blood 40 times a day for a year.
Oh man.
I had ulcerative colitis, which some of you may know people who suffer from colitis, and if you may suffer from it yourself, but you may know people who suffer it, but not really understand how horrible it is as a condition. And I'm really on a mission to help people from this because it's so debilitating. Imagine like you have to go to the toilet 40, 50 times a day.
Ooh.
You soil your pants and you're bleeding. So it's really embarrassing if you're going to go on a date and suddenly, you have to rush to the toilet.
How old are you at this time?
I was like 32,
Oh, young.
very young.
Very young.
Yeah. And the doctor told me, like, look, you wear a nappy. Okay. So like imagine going to a date wearing a nappy, right? You know what I mean? So enough said on that one.
Didn't quite work. Didn't quite work.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like really I was like, whoa, what's going to happen? Like, what's happened to my life? And a lot of people feel the same. And so a long time I suffered until there was a breakdown moment when the consultant said to me, like, you've got two choices here. Either be a guinea pig for a drug that hasn't been tested yet, or you can have your colon removed. So that means you have a colostomy bag, right? And you're basically
They just make a pipe between your stomach and your anus. That's it.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
horrible. So I didn't want any of those. So that was when I really went deep into my own self. And they say God stands for gift of desperation. So desperate, when you're most desperate, sometimes when God actually shines its light on you, and that's exactly what happened. And luckily, a close friend of our family now, Swami Ambakananda, who's a yoga teacher, she runs Traditional Yoga Association in the UK. She came and said to me, look, you've actually got a gift here. If you can heal yourself from this, you'll be a great role model to other people. And what she did was she taught me the basic fundamentals of pranayama and some of the core techniques from it, which aren't really taught much in the mainstream. Wim Hof actually does teach it. There's the Kumbhaka techniques, breath retention.
Yes. Keval Kumbha.
So, yeah, so I was more kind of familiar with that from back then. And when I met Wim actually later on, I was like, wow, this guy's already
No, he's amazing.
the science to it. Yeah, I'm just going to work with him. And I actually ended up creating the soundtrack to the Wim Hof method.
Is that right?
Yeah. All of the music
know
on this
that.
app is all
Well,
my
I mean,
music.
in his other life, he is also a DJ and a music producer, and I mean, talk about Renaissance man. It's like,
Yeah, so that was the thing, right? So pharmacy, right, is all about compliance. You've got to take the pills every day for it to make an effect. That's actually true. For some drugs do work, right? They work miracles, but only if you take them every day. There are inevitably side effects, but some drugs work like miracles. So I'm not going to knock all of pharmacy. But in my case, nothing worked. I tried everything. I surrendered to it. Nothing worked. So I had to create my own path. And the same thing goes with spiritual practice. You should do it every day. If you just do it once and dabble in it, you don't get the results. If you do it every day, it makes the change. That small little bit of effort every day turns into a big change later on, right? So I needed to make these practices, these techniques more compliant for me to be compliant with it, because and to turn into a habit that I look forward to every day, because it can get boring, it get convoluted, it can be difficult sometimes, right? So to create the habit, the ritual that you need to make it really work. So that's where I got to work, and I realized if I combine my passion for making music, my music has a whole other range of benefits of its own, just listen to music. But if I combine that with the breathing techniques, because rhythm is embedded in music, right? But pranayama revolves around rhythmic breathing exercises. So when you combine rhythmic music with rhythmic breathing, boom, we have a whole,
you have SOMA Breath.
You have SOMA Breath. You have SOMA Breath. And then if you bring the intention into it, guided meditation. So I got very deep into...
But didn't you go to the Himalayas as well for a while? Didn't you travel?
Yeah.
You went traveling, looking at Ayurveda and Himalayas. And...
I did everything. Yeah. So I went really...
So how long did it take you to get to healing? How long did you take?
Oh, within 4 or 5 months, I was back to normal.
You're kidding.
That was just with what my Swami taught me. But then I really wanted to go... I also went into subjects that I researched online through books. But I wanted to really solidify the science behind this because I went on a mission. I was like, right, I have to now dedicate my life to this path because God gave me that gift, so I have to now do something with it. I can't just go and back into the Maya, right? I have to do something with this. So that's when I went on this quest, and there was this amazing doctor yogi in India called Prakash Maharsh who had written a book. Everyone should read it, called Medical
What was
Understanding of
his name
Yoga.
again? Prakash
Prakash Malsh,
Ma.
Malshe. Prakash Malsh. He's my real guru, actually.
Wonderful.
He wrote this amazing book called Medical Understanding of Yoga, which I think is the best book ever written on yoga, because it translates all of the Yoga Sutras, but into science
Wow.
that doctors can understand, that medical people can understand, because it makes sense physiologically as to why we do what we do in yoga and what it's all about. Now, I've actually taken that study even further, and now we even have Cambridge University on board now. They're studying our techniques and protocols. And we also now have thousands of students who have gone through my courses, which is all based on my healing journey, but I've made it more comprehensive. And we have so many insane testimonials. It's beyond
Wonderful.
like,
Of healing and wellness.
healing, spiritual purpose, alignment. Everyday people, all walks of life, from all different types of issues. So what I've brought together with SOMA Breath is a pharmacy of pranayama techniques.
That's an interesting use of
That's what it
language,
is.
because you've created this kind of inner pharmacy in a way. But what was that? Do you now, after all these years of experimentation, really believe that the human body has the capability to heal itself and go for optimum wellness on its own without the needs of intervention, or is it a balancing act?
Great question. I think on majority of cases, like maybe even 90% of all cases, we don't need maybe plant-based like medicines can help, but ultimately we can do it all from within through our own inner pharmacy. We have all the medicines. Tantric yoga is basically the origin of all this stuff that we're talking about, and that has the entire system, right, encoded into it. It's like a pharmacy, where if you create this into a way of life, actually we really don't need to be dependent on external stuff for happiness and bliss. You can do it all from yourself, because the soma is a substance, right, which apparently the rishis were hooked on this stuff and dependent on it. But now in this modern age, we have all these external somas, right, in different forms of not just substances, but we have prescription medications, we have TV, media, the PlayStations, the mobile phones, the internet, social media. We have all this stuff that we got dependent on for our happiness, but we've forgotten about our own self. And what we've also done is given up our power of becoming self-sufficient and happy to other people. Like we become like subservient to people who make a lot of money making you subservient, right? And the thing is, we don't need all of that stuff. We really don't need it all. We can be happy with a lot less if we know how to work with this inner pharmacy and work with our physiology and understand that every feeling that we have, you can look at it through the soul and spirit and a spiritual perspective, but if you look at it from a biochemical, physiological perspective, it's a hormonal change that occurs when we feel something like bliss or feel like this kind of euphoric feelings, which is all the same sensations we get when we watch like a movie or play a computer game. We're still feeling something, but it's a hormonal change, right? We can create these same hormonal changes and the same feelings of bliss and contentment by just the breath and tantric practices, right? Which is what you're teaching, which is great. So I wanted to make doing these practices so fun and cool and enjoyable and entertaining that actually then the whole spectrum of people, regardless of where you come from, would be inspired to take it on, right? So what we're seeing now as a result of doing this is and I've coined this phrase samadhi. Samadhi is the state create samadhi through
I love it.
through what we do with SOMA Breath. Okay, it's my technique, which isn't really mine. I just, kind of put it together. And it basically takes you into these bliss states very quickly. And we're seeing lots of people like who have had addictions to things like cannabis, other drugs, let go of them. People who just couldn't forgive people because they're so stuck in this pattern, let go of that and forgive people for the first time. Or we've had people with crazy autoimmune conditions where the parents thought they were going to die, right? We're ready to take them to, say their last words to them. I have this crazy story. This young lady, Letitia, who basically just through doing our course has healed this autoimmune and found a spiritual alignment and purpose, and now is changed her addiction for other stuff to doing spiritual practices, and that then becomes actually a good habit. A bad addiction is just a bad habit, right? That's all it is. It's a bad habit something you do all the time. But if you form good habits, so you spend more of your time doing good things for you, is going to lead to a good result. So if you can get addicted to something which is good for you, which is a good addiction, which is a good habit, really, it's a good practice, a good ritual you do every day, right? We're all addicted to brushing our teeth. We do it every day, right? I have to brush my teeth every day. It's an addiction, but it has beneficial side effects. So what I'm trying to create with SOMA Breath is good habits, positive rituals that are fun to do, that don't take too long, and make you feel really good at the end of it, and also has a therapeutic benefit physiologically. So we've made yoga more fun as well. The music added to yoga, tantra yoga, and doing yoga the right way, using the breath with it, instantly makes you feel good and get into it, compared to if you go to a yoga class and you're like intimidated by all these gymnastics on display, and people who are clearly doing other things. It's not the yoga that made them that way. They're doing other stuff, But imagine if you could just with your body get flexible, get blendy, get stretchy and strong, but also feel blissful at the end of it, and move, right? And just do the right type of yoga, because yoga's also been changed, convoluted over time as well, right? It's become like gymnastics and aerobics, and really yoga is a meditation, and it's a bliss-based practice that takes you into a feeling of connection and oneness. But it's very, very therapeutic as well. But it has to be done the right way. And we do it with music, with breath, holding your breath in.
Okay, let's come to that in a second. Because I don't envy people very much, but I envy your life. All right. He lives in Ibiza, in one of the most pretty islands in the Spanish down south in the Mediterranean. He has a horrible life. He goes to Mind Valley conferences and speaks to thousands of people, and he's living large. He's got a beautiful partner. We'll talk about that later. But tell us about how SOMA, the company, your organization, you came into being. How did all that happen?
Yeah. So, as I said, it came through my quest to make these spiritual practices more fun and easy and positively addicted to do.
Yes.
So, but then also I made a protocol. So one thing that happened was I realized going into Ayurveda, studying people like Vasant Lad, who's an amazing speaker, if you want to check him out, and your work as well, and then also then spending time in the Himalayas with Prakash Malsh and going deep on the science.
Oh, he's up in the Himalayas, right?
He lives near Haridwar. He lives in Haridwar. Has a clinic there. It's pretty much the foothills of the Himalayas. So he showed me scientifically that when you hold your breath for a certain period of time, okay, you actually, beyond 60 seconds, okay, you start to create the soma within, right? And the soma within, you could say, is like your own endogenous DMT or tryptamines, right, that we create. And it occurs when you can hold your breath beyond, like, really around 90 seconds. Now, if you just hold your breath like that, okay, and try and hold your breath for 90 seconds, is really hard. But when you do rhythmic breathing beforehand and charge yourself up, you can actually hold your breath a lot longer. And he said that, like the yogis, they love to live in very low oxygen environments where the CO2 levels are much higher. And that's why they go to the tops of mountains like the Himalayas. The reason why is because CO2, carbon dioxide, isn't a toxic waste gas as we've been led to believe. It's actually very, very healing, and it is what allows the oxygen to really hyperoxygenate the body tissue cells. And also, it's a relaxer, it dilates your blood vessels, and it works with nitric oxide, which we can create through tantric practices as well. That basically is our own antiviral, our antimicrobial, and it has many different therapeutic healing benefits. So my whole system, I realized, revolves around CO2, nitric oxide, and creating the soma within. So what I did was I that's what I realized was that's what I was doing, and this is what brought me all this healing. And what I did was I used to combine guided meditation, so you can direct this healing energy to where you want. You can use it for visionary purposes, creativity, but also for self-healing, right? So I made this method of rhythmic breathing with music, guided meditation, and breath retentions, with kumbhaka basically. And I decided to get really good results from I had already built a little following through my brainwave music. That's what I first did. I never wanted to be like a guru or anything like that. That wasn't my intention. What happened was when I moved to Koh Phangan in Thailand, I just had an automated 4-minute work week type business where I literally was selling music therapy and music tracks to other healers, therapists, yogis, and I allowed them to do the work. But what happened was I started to practice doing classes, basically taking people through breathwork journeys using this technique, but more profoundly, and then leading to what we call Kevala Kumbhaka at the end, which is rhythmic breathing, a faster rhythm that leads to a state where you don't need to breathe in or out. And this, when you can maintain no breath for 60 seconds to 90 seconds and beyond, with no breath in or out, that's samadhi. That's a samadhi state. So I figured this out scientifically.
Or the samadhi state, as you say. Exactly.
Samadhi.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And I started to do this in Koh Phangan, which is a very big hippie spiritual community.
Well, what year was this that you went all the way to Indonesia and all that? When was that?
This was like around 2014.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a long time ago. And also I started meeting people like Wim Hof, and I started creating music for people like him. And then I was like, I'm just gonna do.
You were the sound.
He's already doing it.
You were the soundtrack created to the gurus, And
I also, that was my plan. I didn't want to be the guru, man. I was like, let him do it. Let him do the stuff. Let him take all the flack. Right?
Yeah, I thought I'd be the filmmaker to the guru. That was my role.
Yes, you got it. We're so aligned, right? So that actually was fun for a bit. But then when I started to do these practices, I created this sequence which blew people's minds. It took them into samadhi states, bliss state, like psychedelic trips without taking anything, right? So I had so many people coming to me at the end of these sessions asking me, how do I become an instructor? Like, how do I do what you just did? How do I facilitate? And I was like, you know what? I don't know. Just figure out. And then I started to take this on tour, and then everywhere I went around the world, like Mind Valley events, retreats, workshops, class, the same thing. People kept asking me, how do I do this? One day, I did this one session, and the founder of Zumba, most people, this is a funny story, because most people, when they get up, they give you this feedback like, oh, that was amazing. I just spoke to angels. I spoke to my past life. I spoke to my higher self that, they have all these visions and stuff. There's one guy gets up and he goes, the only thing he said was, what's your business plan? I was like, I don't know. And he goes, all right, this is what it is. And he laid it. He says, I've seen the entire vision of SOMA Breath. And this guy was the founder of Zumba.
Did he invest in you?
He's one of my closest brothers now, and
wonderful,
very big part of the company. He's on our board. So he's also the head of chief of my strategy at Mind Valley now as well. So he's had a very interesting path.
What a good life! What an interesting life! Yeah.
Yeah. He even worked with the Sri Ravi Shankar and all that. And he said actually, what you done here was more profound than the art of living and heart math and all this stuff he's been part of,
quicker
and more fun. He said what it is more fun. Like what he did with Zumba was made fitness fun through dance, right? But what he was saying is what you're doing is making meditation and these hardcore tantric practices fun and accessible and easy, and people love it, and I love it. So let's get involved. So we've now grown from nothing at that point to now 2,000 instructors around the world.
2,000.
Yeah, and what we've created is actually a new pharmacy, the pharmacy for our time, the holistic pharmacy, the inner pharmacy, right? So it's not just learning how to do fun practice. That's what draws people in. It's really about learning the entire, most therapeutic pranayama techniques that make the difference, that are like your own pharmacy, and then training people, our instructors, on how to deliver protocols based on the Ayurvedic principles that really take people to change, transformation. Like really working with hardcore issues, like some people with hardcore chronic issues that have never been cured by modern science through modern medicine, and suddenly getting transformations. Like we have so many phenomenal stories like this. Wonderful. And now actually Cambridge University is studying us, they're studying our protocols, so they're in it for the long term, studying our protocols. And we've attracted like big brands like Rituals, who are creating a whole mind spa experience with SOMA Breath, rolling them out.
These 2,000 teachers that you have,
yeah,
they conduct workshops and teaching and healings all over the world. Is that how they do it?
Yeah, we have them all over the world. Yeah. We're doing teacher trainings now in Ibiza, so one's coming up in a week or so.
If anybody wants to go, now is the chance to sign up, right?
Well, all winter actually. Ibiza is really nice.
Yes,
we rented a retreat center.
I'm coming, baby. I'm coming.
Come and hang out. Yeah, our winters are really like pleasant, actually. Yeah,
very pleasant. Down there is beautiful. So what I thought, I'm gonna ask you to do a little leap now.
Yeah.
And everybody here is an experienced junkie. You know, we've got everybody from meditators to psychedelic explorers. You know, they're all here, right? And how about you take us through a little practice?
Yes.
You know, that gets us into that state in 10, 12 minutes, whatever. You know, you decide.
Yeah.
And it's open to you, and I'll hand it over to you. Please go ahead and guide us into everybody come focus and let's do it.
Okay, 20 minutes is a good time frame to really feel something like more profound. But we also have 10-minute sessions that also make people feel.
No, you decide, and then.
But let's do it. For your crowd, I feel like we need your amazing community. I feel it needs to go a little bit deeper.
And then we can take some questions after that. There you go.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna explain to you the science as we teach you the technique right now. All right, so. So first, let's just make sure you're in a comfortable position. Get your back straight, or you can even lie down if you want to do this. All right, but the key is comfort here, and you don't want to be falling over or anything like that. Where you don't want to be hurting yourself. Okay, so make yourself comfortable for a moment. And what we're going to be doing is rhythmic breathing, but in through your nose into your diaphragm. So diaphragmatic rhythmic breathing. I assume everyone knows how to do that correctly, right? Diaphragmatic breathing. If not, I'll just explain one more time. Put your left hand on your belly, right hand on your chest, just for a moment, and I want you to breathe in through your nose into your diaphragm, so only your diaphragm rises first. And then breathe out through your mouth. Okay, so this hand shouldn't move at all, just the belly hand. So imagine your nostrils are down here. You can breathe it out through your nose or out through your mouth, just for this. And remember, your lungs are actually in your lower back, so you don't just stick out your belly, you actually expand the cylinder like this. So your back kind of moves out as well. Now here's the thing. That's how we should breathe throughout the day as much as possible, okay? This nasal diaphragmatic breathing is the key to optimum health. If you breathe through your mouth, you're actually causing a lot of harm to your physiology. You overbreathe and you cause hyperventilation issues. That's a whole other talk we can go into, but the principles of healthy breathing throughout the day is nasal diaphragmatic breathing, all right? That's the key. But what we're going to do, because we are in a tantric class right now with our amazing Raja Choudhury inner circle of Somis, right? We're going to actually take this up a notch. What I want you to do is bring your awareness now to the sphincter muscles, okay, the muscles around your anus. And this is actually the Ashwini Mudra, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine now your nostrils are down there, and you can breathe through that, still trying to maintain diaphragmatic breathing. You're going to breathe in and contract up those muscles of your sphincter. So breathing in, and then breathing out. Completely relaxed, okay? And what I want you to do is engage actually even your fists. So you can breathe in and let go. You can even move the breath with your hands if you want to move it with the breath. You can even, if you want to, this is just the basic way of doing it, but you can bring your entire body into the breath. Okay, so you breathe out, arch your back forward, your hands slide forward like this, and then breathe in. Contract up the anus. You can also contract up the fist and breathe out. Okay, this is the rhythmic breathing, and you're going to be doing this to a beat. The music has a rhythm to it, a pulse. So you're going to be, when I say in, you'll be going in, 2, 3, 4. When I say out, you breathe out, 2, 3, 4, like this. Okay, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Now there's going to be faster rhythms, right, where it'll be in, 2, out, 2, in, 2, out, 2, and then it may even speed up towards the end where it's faster like this. Okay, still contracting up the sphincter, letting go on the exhale. Now the Ashwini Mudra is your direct connection to the autonomic nervous system. All right, you can actually raise your heart rate on command by engaging the Ashwini Mudra up, pulling up the muscle. If we had more time, I'd show you the yogi trick of raising your heart rate above 100 beats per minute and more, and then lowering it down to like 40 beats per minute. I can show you how to do that. We teach you how to do it in the courses so you can impress your friends. But it's all about engaging the Ashwini Mudra. It's a direct connection to autonomic nervous system. So that's why with this we can actually create neurotransmitters like adrenaline and DHEA, which are positive stress hormones. Okay, they engage you and actually wake you up. They create a charge, sympathetic charge in your body. This rhythmic breathing also, what it does, the faster rhythms, it breathes out CO2. You let go of CO2. Now remember, before I was saying CO2 is our most beneficial gas, pranayama. It is all about CO2 and raising internal CO2. Well, for this technique, actually, we're letting go of the CO2 just for a brief period, because when you have less CO2, it allows you to hold your breath for longer. All right, remember, we want to get into 90-second breath holds. So what you're going to be doing after rhythmic breathing is breathing in, breathing out, holding your breath, completely relaxing. Your chin goes to your chest, and you're going to completely relax, hold your breath, and go into a breath hold for as long as you can. Okay, and I'm going to give you the command to, when you feel the big urge to breathe, is to exhale again and keep extending this exhalation hold, right? And when we can actually get to a 90-second hold, right, okay, without actually taking any sips in, what this does, okay, is it creates this state called intermittent hypoxia. Right, that takes a bit of practice, but most of you should be able to get it with a bit of practice. What this state creates is a beneficial adaptation to oxygen. Oxygen is what makes us age. And so we need to make oxygen into our friends. Oxygen is like the fuel for the combustion engine, which is a mitochondria in your cells. So just like a normal combustion engine, it is prone to wear and tear because of the fire inside, the inner fire. right? But we can actually make our engines, the mitochondria, super efficient at burning oxygen. And this technique, what we're doing, makes you super efficient using oxygen. And what that does is it creates more energy, more endurance, more stamina, more fitness. But what it also allows us to do is extend gradually over time our breath retention time. And when we get to let's say 90 seconds, all right, what happens is we actually get to a therapeutic state where we can wake up endogenous stem cells out of circulation. And stem cells, as we know, are a big field of research right now. There's even crazy billionaires extracting stem cells right now, even making women pregnant on purpose to extract their stem cells because they want to live forever. Because stem cells hold the key to immortality, right? However, we can create our own dose of our own endogenous stem cells, wake them up, allow them to come out to play just with one technique. That's why Kumbhako is the most secret but most revered technique of all of pranayama, because it holds the secret to extending life. All right? Right? So that's what this technique will do. It will take some practice, but then what it will also do is it takes you into samadhi states. The reason why, when you get to that 60-second plus breath hold time, you actually raise CO2 up. CO2 will dramatically raise, right? And you'll get a big dose of nitric oxide towards the end of it. Nitric oxide is what creates this cascade of beneficial, positive effects, which wakes you up and also wakes up the DMT, the therapeutic tryptamines that takes us into this euphoric samadhi oneness state that's very similar to things like DMT, psychedelics, psilocybin, all of that. All right. So really, the quest for creating the soma within was revolved around this one technique. So we're going to be practicing this now, but through a fun way, through music, euphoric, uplifting music. It's going to take you on a journey, take you on a trip, and when I guide you through this with an intention, magic can happen. So are we ready?
Yes.
We're ready to do this? Okay, so what you're going to do, just to finish, so after you're holding your breath, I'll give you a command. All of you together will be breathing in at the same time, breathing in that deep inspiration. Inspire means to breathe in, right? I don't know if you knew that. Inspiration, inspire thinking is to breathe in. And when you breathe in together at the same time, we get inspired together. And when we have a joint intention, that's the moment you want to make that intention. Visualize it like a movie playing in your mind's eye. See it, believe it, make it real. And this will program your brain to create this result. This is the most powerful form of self-hypnosis that exists today. Right? So I'm going to be guiding you to that point. It's going to feel amazing. And then we're going to end with a hum. Hum or om. So in om, the emphasis we want to put on is the hum, the And you're going to vibrate your third eye, which really corresponds here to the nasal passages, which is where nitric oxide is produced. When we hum and vibrate this area, nitric oxide gets produced in a large quantity, 15 times the amount from normal nasal breathing. And this has this entire therapeutic effect of cleansing and strengthening your entire physiology. All right? So Om, it really is the sound of creation. It really is, okay? And the creation of nitric oxide and everything else that comes with it. So that completes one round. We're going to do 2 rounds like this back to back. I'm going to end with more chanting, and then that's it. All right? We're ready?
Beautiful.
So remember to use the Ashwini Mudra with every inhale. When you inhale, we breathe in, contract, and let go on the exhale. And when we breathe in and hum, we can contract and hold the Ashwini Mudra. All right? So I invite you to tune in to the sound. Any sound that draws your awareness in this moment. And the sound of my voice that shall be your guide on this journey. And notice as you tune into the sound and nothing but the sound, that voice in your head that worries about the past and the future and criticizes, judges and gets analytical about things, gently fades away, drifts away into the background. as you become more and more present with the sound. That's right. And tune into this sound as though that's all that exists right now, in this moment of deep inspiration. Note yourself getting more and more relaxed, more and more present, as the tension starts to fade away, drift away. That's right. And now I want to imagine each and every one of you together are being teleported high above our planet to my mystical pyramid ashram, where we hold the convention of the Galactic Federation of Light. That's right. And each and every one of you right now has a seat on the round table where we are together envisaging this new earth, the new reality. I want you to paint in your mind's eye the new vision for our incredible planet Earth that's going through some transitional teething pains right now. But know that also all of humanity right now is waking up together. And they need your support and guidance. And you also need the support and guidance of those who are going to help recreate this new earth in your image, in our image, a co-creation. So how would you see this world right now? And allow your mind, your creativity to expand and illuminate, morph, twist, turn into new ideas, new reality tunnels, new possibilities as we breathe together. And imagine as you breathe together on this experience today, you're breathing in the light of a higher power. So let's get ready to breathe together. And imagine you are now a channel of this light energy, this spirit for higher power. It's going to amplify your vision and make it real. So become a channel of the light, and imagine right now there's a light beaming through the top of our pyramid, ashram, connecting each and every one of you to a higher power. Let's begin. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. That's right. Follow the rhythm. 2, 3, 4. Out. That's right. The rhythm is more important than the depth. 2, 3. So just keep to the rhythm. Out. Smooth, connected breath. 4. That's right. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3. 4. That's right. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3. The rhythm of life. That's right. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, Rhythm of life. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3. Keep breathing, keep connecting. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3. You are amazing. In, 2, 3. Miracles of life. Out. 2, 3. Keep breathing, keep connecting. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2. Feel this energy moving through you like a current. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3. That's right. 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 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 4. Now take a deep breath in and breathe all the air out. And hold your breath, the full exhalation. And go deep within, allowing yourself to completely become still. As life is just a series of inhales and exhales, as you press pause on your breath, press pause on life in this moment. It's like a defrag switch for the operating system of your mind, clearing the clutter of your thought files, getting ready for the new connections to be made, the new programs, the new visions, to turn thoughts into things. That's right. When you get an urge to breathe, only when you get an urge, see if you can override that first urge to breathe. You can take a sip in and blow back out and hold your breath again, going deeper and deeper within. And then when you get that big strong urge to breathe all together, take a deep breath in, send the energy up, and hum. Om. And back into the rhythmic breathing, faster. In, 2, ah. 2, in, 2, ah. 2, in, 2. Ah, letting go with the tone on your exhale. 2, ah, 2, in, 2, ah, 2, in, 2, ah. That's right. Breathe that rhythm. 2, ah, yes. In, 2, ah, yes. Connect to that rhythm. 2, out. 2, in, 2, out. 2. In, 2, out, 2, in, out. Now take a deep breath in Send the energy up, send it up, and make this your moment of deep inspiration right now. See the vision. Witness the light of your own creation. Keep holding, drawing up the pelvic floor, the Ashwini Mudra, sending it up. Send this energy up and become a transmitter. Send the light high, like a command to the universe. And release with a tone. That's right. You are amazing. Miracles of light. You have everything you need to receive already deep within your heart, soul and mind. That's where the truth you will find. So let's get ready to breathe, connect, break free, liberate together. That's right. In, out, faster. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. That's right. Breathe in, supercharge that energy. Now deep breath in. Breathe all the air out. And hold your breath. No air in the lungs. And go deep, completely relax. It's that place of absolute stillness. Imagine right now there's a light shining through the crown of your head, deep within, sending this energy through you, into you, around you. And now take a deep breath in all together. Send the energy up and see the light. Witness the light. And then release with the tone. Om. And again. Charge it up. Yes. Supercharge that energy. Now, deep breath in. Send the energy up. And then breathe all the air out. And hold your breath. Completely become still. Feel the energy. Feel the spirit moving within. And within and without and around you. Into you. And keep holding your breath as long as you can. When you start to feel that first urge to breathe, you can even count down in your mind 10 down to 0, or even 20 down to 0. See how long you can push it. And you have plenty of oxygen. You can actually hold your breath much longer than you think. If you get a really strong urge to breathe, you can take a sip in and breathe back out and keep holding, keep going. Some of you will hold your breath longer than others, but see if you can maximize and expand this state of absolute stillness. Keep holding, keep connecting. I'm going to count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you feel that rush of energy moving up through your spine, your abdomen, when you feel this energy building up, and you can't hold your breath any longer, it may feel uncomfortable, but see if you can push slightly beyond that comfort zone, a little bit longer, and then take that deep breath in, all the way in, and send this energy up and up and up. Send it up and contract the Ashwini Mudra, pull the pelvic floor up, sending this energy up, up and up through the crown of your head, like a message to the universe. And hold your breath and witness the light, that moment of deep insight. Keep holding, keep connecting. Become a channel, a vessel of the light. How do you want to see this earth, the new earth? And then when you can't hold your breath any longer, you're going to release with a hum. And just enjoy that moment. Peace and stillness. Imagine you're awakening right now. A new dawn, a new day, a whole new reality tunnel of your own creation. Embody that feeling of deep gratitude, knowing that all of your dreams and wishes have come true. And feel that gratitude now for everything you have, already have, and everything you're yet to receive. Know that as you leave this experience today, you shall do so with a new sense of positive energy, connected to the light of a higher power. That's right. And you can go back to this state of being whenever you wish to. Because it all comes from within. You are the creator. You are the guru. So bringing your awareness back into the present moment, back in the body. Bring your awareness to your hands, your feet, wiggling your fingers, your toes, having a stretch. Sigh, good feelings. 3, 2, 1, coming back into full awakening awareness. Know that you shall leave here today connected to the light of a higher power. So much love and positive energy for this opportunity. Peace.
Beautiful, brother. That was delicious, man. Thank you.
Nice.
I was much more than I was even hoping for, so I'm very grateful.
Wow.
It was
Thank
beautiful,
you.
beautiful, beautiful.
Wow, I'd love to get some feedback or
Sure. If anybody wants to say something,
questions
ask a
or
question, just go to reactions at the bottom of your screen and raise the hand in reactions. There's a reaction box there, and then we'll call upon you and add you to the dialogue. So we get a three-way going. So let me start the ball rolling, right? I know you have to leave in a 10 minutes or so, so I'll just keep
yeah, I've still got like 15 minutes.
Okay, good. And the first question is that how does one become a Soma teacher and a Soma practitioner? What is the process?
First, they sign up through your link that you have, the Raja Choudhury discount link.
Oh, there's a Raja Chowdhury. I didn't know there was a Raja Chowdhury discount link. Okay.
There is now. There is now. So that's the first step. So you can get some cash back from that. So you'd have to pay the price.
No. I'm happy they just joined you and look after you.
I mean, as in everybody gets a discount then.
Good. So everybody gets a discount. Good.
Yeah.
And what do they do? Is there a course they do, or what do they do?
Yeah. So we have a very deep program. We have actually two types of courses. One which is just focused on breathwork, our core breathwork routine, but we also have a long, quite intensive transformational coaching course, which goes into the entire system. It's very holistic, many different somatic therapies in there, and the entire breathwork foundation as well, which is included. So there's two different options there.
I love it, and I love, and your website is don't go there. We'll send you the link, but it's somabreath.com, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can check it out.
somabreath.com. And just to tell you that, I love that you integrated somatic and samadhi together into somahadik. I love it. I love that very much. That's a good one. That's a really good
Awesome.
one.
Thank you.
One more question I have before hand it over to Judith is that the what are some of the higher states of consciousness you have seen people experiencing beyond just hallucinogenic or psychedelic visionary states and wellness? What all have you seen in transformative states in the neural pathways and in the mind that you have seen from this work?
So we actually have had a study done with a neuroscientist called Jeff Tarrant, who showed that what this does is it works on the default mode network. So
Yes.
the default mode network is very interesting right now. A lot of science behind it, which shows that this is probably the realm of the ego in the brain, right? So it's the brain's version of the ego. It's what worries about the future, the past, and is what gets hung up on the things, grudges, and it also analyzes things and stuff like that. So this voice is constantly going around in most people. It's very active, and what that does is it creates sympathetic activity, which creates tension. And tension, which is not resolved, leads to chronic disease and pain and all this muscle fatigue and all this stuff. So when you can turn that off, and that's what meditation is supposed to do, it will actually create a lot of relief, and even people can go into spontaneous remission from this, just because they start getting blood flow to areas of the body they didn't have before. But this does it very quickly, and it works just like psychedelics, because psychedelics does the same thing. Psilocybin and MDMA does the same thing. This actually does it without taking anything, and it works very quickly without any side effects at the end of it. And so from that you get all kinds of different stories that we get. Like when you combine it with the intention and the meditation, you get like people healing themselves from autoimmune conditions, people finding their life path, even people getting their eyesight back. That's a really interesting one, because we're waking up stem cells.
Okay, I
Rapid
know you have to
healing.
go, Sudhu. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask Judith. Say hello to Judith. Judith is a very advanced yogini and practitioner of yoga, and she teaches, and she's just released an app in the UK.
Wow.
So she's doing a lot of good stuff, and she works with children as well. It's wonderful.
Oh,
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
Hi, Niraj.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi. That was wonderful.
Oh.
I've done some practice with you before. You did, I think you were part of a Breathwork summit on Shift Network.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So I've done some of this before, and I think it's amazing. I really, really love it. As Raja said, I'm a yoga teacher. I've trained in a few types of yoga, including Kundalini yoga, and I'm a speech therapist. So I do quite a lot of breath work with people, as well as working with children. I work with people in trauma quite a lot. But I've done some of this breath work, and I've just got a question which I found quite interesting. When you work with Ashwini Mudra, and that was just after you've also said to really, really release through the diaphragm. What I found with a few people is when they breathe in deeply and release through the diaphragm, but also engage Ashwini Mudra, they tend to sort of engage almost in this paradoxical breathing, so that they tighten a lot when they're inhaling because they can't separate the Ashwini Mudra. So I'd just be really interested if you've got some sort of comments or suggestions as to how to overcome that problem.
Yeah, I know it's common. Somebody asked that question above, actually. I'll turn off my magical effect. Here we go. So, actually...
I was wondering what that reverb of God was going on there.
So I just realized. So what you want to do is imagine the nostrils are in the Ashwini Mudra. So when you breathe in, don't think too much. It's the overthinking that causes the problem. The idea is to not think, right? So just breathe in like you're a cylinder. Imagine your cylinder and you're breathing at the bottom of the cylinder. Right? So some people, they breathe in and they suck their bellies in. You have to try and not move this at all. The diaphragm will move slightly, but it'll stay cylindrical. The whole chest and diaphragm will stay cylindrical. The diaphragm will move as much as it needs to. But what you're not doing is sucking in the diaphragm. People do that. You just have to relax the diaphragm. The relaxed diaphragm is really important. All those people who try and get six-pack abs by contracting the muscles all day long, they don't want to have their Buddha belly hanging out. They're actually doing themselves a lot of harm, actually, because actually you want a relaxed diaphragm. It's key. So the more people can practice just relaxing the diaphragm throughout the day, the easier that technique will become. It's just a bit of practice.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you, Judith. And Lauren, before I bring you on, Edward wrote in, many thanks, Niraj. I can feel and sense this life transformative value within my consciousness. Are there CDs to order training in the basic and work myself up for a longer program?
CDs? They
Right,
still exist.
he's an old school. He's old school.
All right. So no, we don't do CDs, but we do have an online course. So everything is digital, virtual these days. The best course that I could recommend to get going is the 21-day. That's more geared up around this technique. Is a 21-day awakening journey, and it's very powerful. And it's you can do it self-study or with a instructor. So they lead classes every week. Or the Breath Fit course is all about healthy breathing habits that you can do every single day, throughout the day, mindful breathing. And that actually the whole world should do it, because that will solve so many of the world's health issues. Because most health issues are caused primarily, in my opinion, from all my research, by bad breathing habits and over breathing, hyperventilation.
All right. So let's bring in Lauren. Greetings, Lauren. He's also a yoga teacher and a therapist and a practitioner of our Tantra. So here we go.
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. And I just wanted to share your bit about mouth breathing and how it's such a problem in our society and people don't realize it. I did a course a couple of years ago with John Duyard, another Ayurveda, North American based, brilliant, not in my view, not on the level as Vasant Lad, but this course taught me to realize how much mouth breathing I do and mouth breathing at night. So I actually tape my mouth shut now when I go to bed. I've been doing that for 2 years. Finding the right tape is always a challenge, but mouth breathing so bad. So the nitric oxide when you're mouth breathing, it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I love this. This just aligns perfectly with me. I'm being selfish here, but oh my gosh, I'm that 21-day challenge. Here I go. Thank you.
There we go.
Nice.
We got to recruit, baby.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you.
But use Raja's link.
I didn't even know I had one. Okay.
You're getting one. Nice.
All right. Anybody else would like to? I know Niraj will have to go soon because he has a 6:30 event for you.
Yes. Yeah. We got 5 minutes.
We have Mukta, who is a student of Vasant Lad. Here is Mukta.
Ooh.
And a Sri Vidya practitioner and a tantric and an ayahuasquero and everything. Hold on.
Amazing.
Can you raise your hand again, Mukta? I lost you on the screen.
Namaste, Niraj. It was just,
Namaste.
I want to say that it was amazing.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. It was, especially at the end of the breath when you were taking us up and down. I was chanting, the other combination I did was chanting the mantra of our Sri Vidya mantra, Kaya Ilarim, Hasakalarim, Sakalarim. I'm going up and down with the breath that you were saying. And man, it was powerful. I couldn't come out. Actually, when you finished,
yes,
it was
takes
like,
time.
Yeah, I'm still tingling and my whole body is still vibrating. So it's I always knew breath is, the key to every healing is come from breath, and how breath, regulation or kind of doing the different breaths can do different things to you. But this was just a whole lot of what you taught today was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to learning from you more. That was good.
Beautiful.
For sharing and
Thank
coming
you.
today.
No, I'm sure many people will be signing up for your program, sir. So,
Wow. I'm honored. I'm
I
deeply
enjoyed it a
honored.
lot. Thank you so much.
you know what I love about what you're doing, Niraj, is and before you answer, is that you're taking it to a world that needs it in a big, popular way, and I love that. Well done.
Thank you, brother.
Go
Means a
ahead.
lot.
Any comment on Mukta is what she was saying, please.
Oh, great. I'm very honored.
Did you ever study with
Somebody of your
Vasant
background.
Lad? Did you study with Vasant
I
Lad?
just done his online stuff, but I'd love to meet him in person. He's a total legend.
Yeah, what I liked is I mean, I've been doing pranayam since the age of 12, like I grew up with pranayam, but what I liked is that how you did even talk with Dr. Santlad, it's a very serious practice.
Yeah.
And it is very profound and very powerful. But what you bring in is the fun, the quality of music that I love, and the visualization and all of it. So it was delicious, and then really, truly, our bodies are instrument and they speak. And
Yes.
definitely when you tune in and turn in, there's a different language and it's vibrating.
I love it.
All right.
Yes.
I felt the light, I felt the Devi, I
So
felt
nice.
the whole shebang. I felt like the whole transmission from the
This is it.
goddess coming in and the whole body turning into a pillar of light. And the three Devis were with me, the divine mother and the earth mother, and they were just uniting. And it was just beautiful. It was,
Yes.
I combined
Yes.
Rajas together, actually.
What? What?
Was that?
Combined Raja's teachings and your teachings together.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
All right, we have one last question from Bella. Bella, go ahead and unmute yourself. Bella is a speech therapist as well and a practitioner, and she works with a lot of people who have had injuries and stuff like that. So, hello,
Wow.
Bella.
Hello, Bella.
Hi, namaste, everyone. First of all, I
Namaste.
really, really enjoyed this class. For once, I was actually able to go through the whole practice without
Nice.
being at work. So it was amazing for me. The question I have is, like Raja said, I do work as a speech therapist. I work at a trauma level 1 center. So I see a lot of old people with a lot of injuries. I don't think they'll be able to do the full 90 seconds, but I, like a speech therapist and
You don't
swallowing,
need to.
we engage diaphragmatic breathing a lot, and especially for the voice after being intubated. So is there something simpler I can use with them?
You don't have to get benefits. Maximum to get the really tripped out benefits, you want to do beyond 60 seconds. But you can do baby steps. We actually have a course, Breath Fit, which is really good for older people to retrain their breath. And just through this retraining of the breath and getting oxygen back into the nervous system, because older people may have had lifelong bad breathing habits, that can make a huge shift. And then we have a site as well called Samadhi, which is our membership.
I love it.
Samadhi, yeah. And it's where there's a lot more shorter
Where's
sessions.
my honorary membership, man?
7 minute. Yeah, you're I'm gonna give you one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna do a class on that
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for this.
Thank you.
Blessings. All right.
Oh, and wait, just one more to Bella. Instead of doing the holds, you can just do humming. Go straight into hum if they can't hold their breath. Yeah? Great.
Beautiful. So, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
You know
An
what
honor.
is really lovely is that, and Mukta was saying it just earlier, is that when you integrate your advanced knowledge of pranayama and healing like you're doing with our work with Shakti and mantra, right? The alchemy is you already used some of the sounds of the Devi without knowing that they're Devi. You say hum, we say hum and hum. We do the Ashwini Mudra as a double clench, right? Where you pull the penis and the vagina back as well. And it pulls it up and shoots it up the spine. So we have a lot of commonality there. It's a lot of lovely work you're doing. And you also used a beautiful Saraswati mantra of Aim. You brought Aim in afterwards. And I
Yes.
thought that was delicious because we use Aim for everything. Aim, Hreem, Shreem, and so I will come and teach you guys a masterclass on mantra, and
That'd
then
be
you come back
brilliant.
and we'll integrate the two things together, all right?
I love it. Let's
All
do it.
right. So
Done.
what, are you off now? Do you have to go?
Yeah, I better. The next session starts in 1 minute, but amazing feedback, and I'll see you all in our community too, hopefully.
Yes, and
Yeah.
come back again and give us another step 2 of the masterclass.
Beautiful. And maybe we'll do a retreat together in the future.
I think that'll be, Ibiza is calling my name, man.
Yeah, Ibiza, or there's also a place we have in Nepal that we're
Lovely.
up in the Himalayas, like real stuff, like go up to the Himalayas.
Nah, I like that.
No oxygen environment.
Then we're really in the carbon dioxide and nitric oxide area.
There you go. There you go.
Exactly. And we can smoke some datura as well while we're up there.
100%. Yeah.
All right, brother. Sri Matri
Cool.
Namaha. Blessings to you. Blessings from everybody. Everybody give big hugs to Niraj. Thank you,
Much love,
Niraj.
everyone.
Thank you.
Peace and many blessings.
And be at peace, brother. You're a light in the world of some darkness. So keep bringing the light.
So are all of you. I love it. Beautiful.
Bye-bye.
I'm in the right place.
Absolutely.
Peace and love, everyone.
You're in our family now.
Amazing. Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.